I'm not the type of person that never eats pizza, that never eats sweets, but 95% of the time when I choose the foods that I eat, I'm eating things where I can make the smart choices and where I can upgrade. What's going on, everybody? Schuyler Diehm here, men's weight loss coach, and in today's video, we are diving into 5 specific foods that I believe everyone out there should upgrade. I'm a firm believer that one of the best strategies to lose weight and to improve your health, especially if you struggle with the consistency, motivation, and discipline aspect, is to just make those small, simple shifts that allow you to eat the same foods, but that basically allow you to avoid the ingredients that are slowing your metabolism, that are boosting your cravings, your hunger, and really just making your taste buds addicted. And then also just breaking the motivation centers in your brain and making it more difficult for you to stay consistent. And so this philosophy alone allows you to eat the same foods that you've always been eating, but just make those smarter choices that allow your body over time to respond. And of course, one thing once a week isn't going to make a massive difference, but if you're eating something every single day, and let's say it has an ingredient in there that you have no idea is spiking your blood sugar, causing you to crave foods, basically just putting your body in that state of stress, you're leaving a lot on the table. And let's say you make 5 or 10 shifts, the difference that you could see is huge. You could be providing your body more nutrients, you could be avoiding these ingredients, and all in all, you could really see massive results with weight loss, with cravings, with just the way your mind and your body works just from these small shifts. And so obviously when it comes to weight loss, it's always going to be calories in, calories out. So if you make these shifts and you still are eating a ton, you're not going to lose weight. But really what I believe is my philosophy that most people, when they eat this style and when they upgrade the right types of foods and upgrade into the right types of ingredients, their body responds in a way that makes it easier for them to not overeat. And so if you're interested in learning more about this philosophy and how we've used it to help our clients drop weight really, really fast, even if they've struggled for years and years and years, make sure you check the description of this video for a guide we put together on how to use this awareness, this mindfulness, as well as fasting and fitness to see incredible results. With that being said, let's get into these 5 things. So number 1 is something that has been really demonized by a lot of people, and that is salt. Now, when most people think of salt, they think of the white table salt that you find at a restaurant, right? Very small flakes, very grainy, very tasty. And unfortunately, this salt has been processed nowadays to the point where most salts don't even have just salt in them. Most salts have thickening agents that just can cause some issues in the body in the long term. But more importantly, they have ingredients in there like dextrose, which basically responds and reacts in your body like a sugar. So if you're having salt on every meal, or maybe your doctor told you to cut back on the salt because of blood pressure, making a small shift from table salt to Himalayan sea salt or to something more nutritious along those lines is going to be huge. And so if you're having this regular table salt, usually what you'll find is that it's completely lacking in nutrients, that there's no nutritious value. But if you switch to something like pink Himalayan sea salt, there's literally over 80 extra nutrients in that salt. So if you're fasting, putting salt in your water is one of the best things you can do for electrolytes, for nutrients, for minerals. But whether you're fasting or not, making this small shift and taking this salt and switching it to Himalayan sea salt can provide your body with a lot more nutrients in the long term. So what I would recommend you do right now is pause this video, go to your kitchen cabinet, turn the salt to the ingredients, and see what else is in there besides salt. My guess is if it's a generic brand, you're going to have things like thickening agents in there. You're going to have things like dextrose, which again, don't respond well in the body long term. So that's ingredient number 1. Ingredient number 2 would be any inflammatory oils. And when I say inflammatory oils, I mean the corn oil, the vegetable oil, the soybean oil, the canola oil. These are oils that over time have been highly processed and create a lot of inflammation in the body. So this inflammation can cause weight gain, it can cause more hunger, it can cause sluggishness, it can cause brain damage. And so just by shifting from this oil to more healthy oils, not only can your food potentially taste even better once your taste buds get adjusted, but at the same time, you're gonna get a lot more healthy fats. Right? Canola oil is more of an omega-6 fat, which is more pro-inflammation, whereas the oils like the olive oil, the avocado oil, the coconut oil, these have healthy omega-3 fats in them that are really good for anti-inflammatory impacts. And so one of my biggest shifts for people, if they're cooking with a lot of vegetable oil, if you switch that over to coconut oil, not only are you going to notice more energy over time, but you potentially may drop a lot of weight. And it's not because you're consuming less calories, but it's because of the impact that it has on your body, you're actually going to be burning more calories naturally throughout the day. So especially if you cook a lot at home, get rid of all the vegetable oils, all the inflammatory oils, and go for more pro olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Same thing goes with sauces and all these things that you buy prepackaged. If there's canola oil in the ingredients, swap it out for something with coconut oil or avocado oil or olive oil. That's number 2. The third ingredient I would really recommend swapping out is the enriched bleached wheat flour. Now, wheat flour in itself, I'm iffy about. I'll have it organic every single once in a while. But the gluten in there can have negative effects on your body, especially because gluten nowadays is very, very processed. And so when it comes specifically to baking and to any recipes that you'd use flour in, I would swap out a regular whole wheat flour or even just, a white flour for something a little bit more nutritious like an almond flour or coconut flour or cassava flour. And again, what you'll find here is that yes, the ingredients may have to change, especially when you bake, and you can easily look up new recipes, but the composition, once you find that new recipe, is going to be a lot more nutritious once again. Yes, the calories may change. You may potentially even consume a little bit more calories than you normally would, but in the process, you're giving your body more nutrients, which is going to allow its metabolism to speed up, so you to burn more calories naturally, but then also could potentially reduce hunger throughout the day. Enriched bleached flour has been shown to massively spike blood sugar, which is going to allow you to have an energy crash and then crave more food. And in the process of their creation, they take out the nutritious part of the wheat. So even the good part that you would be normally getting from, say, a whole wheat flour is now gone because the wheat has been stripped of its nutrients. So again, with this one, if you're going out, you're going for packaged ingredients, look for ones that have been made with other types of flour and they don't have enriched bleached flour in it. But on the other end is if you're cooking, just look for new recipes, right? Look for new ways to make these normal things with things like almond flour, coconut flour, cassava flour. That's number 3. The 4th ingredient I would really recommend upgrading is plain sugar. So whether you have white processed sugar in your kitchen cabinet or whether you're consuming foods that have sugar in it, you could start off by swapping it for something with a little bit of a lower glycemic index like organic coconut sugar. But you could also take it a step further and go to a 0-calorie natural sweetener such as stevia, monk fruit, or allulose. Now what a lot of people tend to do when they cut out sugar is they go to things labeled sugar-free, which usually have artificial sugars in them like sucralose or aspartame. And these can potentially spike your blood sugar in a negative way, but they also damage the gut. And your gut health is really important for mental health, for metabolism. And so if that gut health is damaged from these artificial sweeteners, again, you may not be taking in more calories, but you're probably burning less calories throughout the day. So a good example of this is when I bake, we usually don't put sugar in recipes. We'll use things like all natural honey, or we'll use real maple syrup, something that contains sugar, but it's a much more natural form, so it interacts with your bloodstream in a much better way. So that's number 4. And then the 5th type of food I would really recommend upgrading is the fish that you consume. Now, a lot of people tend to think that fish is very healthy with omega fat, which it can be, okay? But in our modern society, most fish tends to be farm raised. And in the process of being farm raised, they're not fed their natural diet. They're fed other farm raised fish, they're fed grains, they're fed corn, soy, and in the process, they lose the omega-3 healthy fats because they're not eating the algae that wild caught fish would normally eat. And so if you're going out to the store and you're just buying the cheapest fish, what you're most likely going to find is that fish is actually farm raised. And so especially if you're having fish 3, 4, 5 times a week, if you just make that swap to something that's wild caught, now all of a sudden your body's getting more healthy omega-3 fats, which again is going to cause it to respond in a more beneficial way. So always look for wild caught, right? Whether you're going to the grocery store, when you go out to eat, ask if it's wild caught. But this is really, really important because if you're eating this fish that's farm raised, you really don't know what's in it. It's most salmon that's farm raised actually comes out gray because they're lacking the nutrients that makes it pink. And so companies actually dye it pink to make it look like salmon. So to quick sum that up again, we've got number 1, salt. Upgrading to a Himalayan sea salt that's actually filled with nutrients. Number 2 is oil. Going for a more healthy fat oil, avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. Number 3, flour. Going for either an organic whole wheat flour or even better, something like an almond flour, cassava flour, or coconut flour. Number 4, sugar. So upgrading sugar to either a natural sugar like honey or maple syrup, or go to something that has a little bit of a lower glycemic index, such as coconut sugar, or even potentially a 0-calorie natural sweetener such as stevia, allulose, or monk fruit. And then finally, number 5 is upgrade the fish that you buy to wild caught fish. Try to avoid that farm raised at all costs. So those are 5 ingredients. Now, with my clients specifically, we do a kitchen walkthrough where we take you through and we kind of go in the kitchen and look at specific things that we can upgrade. We've also got a more detailed list available of specific ingredients and common upgrades. But what I would recommend is start reading the ingredients of the things that you buy. Start Googling when you see an ingredient that you don't know. What is this ingredient? How does it impact my body? And that's really the way that you can do this on your own, of just starting to learn what you're putting in you and how it's impacting you. But of course, if you're looking for the shortcut, make sure to reach out, grab that free guide below. In it, there's going to be a way to get in touch with me in case you want to book a call. But besides that, make the smart choices, right? This isn't about cutting out your favorite foods completely. I'm not the type of person that never eats pizza, that never eats sweets, but 95% of the time when I choose the foods that I eat, I'm eating things where I can make the smart choices and where I can upgrade. And the other 5%, I just have fun. I just let go. Right? I really don't believe that having the best set of six-pack abs is worth never eating your favorite foods again. Or I don't believe that even counting every single calorie you put in your mouth is worth never enjoying foods again. I think this is really a game all about balance and longevity, because if you actually enjoy it, you're going to be able to sustain it. So with that being said, I'm curious which one of these 5 ingredients stands out the most to you. Let me know in the comments, and of course, make sure to subscribe if you're looking for more content. Make sure to like this video, and with that being said, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.